All right.
Are we live, Rob?
We are live.
Are we
Live and
live,
direct.
chat? I always rely on chat to let us know whether or not we're live and you can hear us, or if it's an absolute disaster. Chat, let us know if you can hear us. And in the meantime, Rob, what's up, buddy? Long time no see.
Has been a while, hasn't it? A couple of months.
Yeah.
Christmas is the last one.
Yeah, first time of the year.
Yep.
I'm excited to do it, man. What about you? I mean, this is 10 years of Plugin Boutique, my friend.
It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, I've got I've got my celebratory drink lined up. That's my it looks quite good with the green screen.
Yeah, I can't see it, dude.
I got my invisible drink lined up.
Everybody, Rob does not drink at all. He's just pretending, as you can see. I dropped the ball on the drink. I was a little bit rushed this morning, and I didn't have time to stop by a store and get some champagne. So in spirit, though, Rob, I will be drinking with you, and I will, in spirit, again, drink later tonight in celebration of this stream and what we're about to do and accomplish here. Everybody in the chat, let me know what's up. I see plugin deals. I see Sonics. I see cable guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're celebrating 10 incredible years of Plugin Boutique. That's a long time, I think. That's a decade of being in the plugin game. We couldn't have done it without the community, obviously, the people here. Rob Jones, Fundamental, Nick running the chat, everybody on the Plugin Boutique team, Gareth, Alistair, Simon, the other Simon, just Phil, everybody that's been there since the beginning, everybody, all the new cats that are in the group. It's fantastic. I'm happy to be a part of the team. I'm happy that Rob Jones is a part of the team, blessing us with these demos each and every time we do a live stream together. What about Producer Tech? How old is Producer Tech these days?
So the company's been going since 2009, so about 13.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Older than you're the big brother.
We are. We didn't really shout
wild.
about the decade. Don't know why we didn't do that.
Hey, we'll come back around at 20 years, or we can even do 15. I don't mind, Rob. If you need me, hit me up. We'll get it done.
All right.
So today we are just chilling. Today, really just celebrating 10 wonderful years of plugins, plugin technology, Plugin Boutique, and the wonderful community of plugin boutiquers. We've got a bunch lined up, Rob. I think you're going to be doing a demo of 10 different plugins, smashing it as usual. So we're looking forward to that. Some other just quick mentions before we jump into the demos. We do have a promotion running. It's with any purchase on Plugin Boutique, you can grab Arturia's Analog Lab Intro for free. It's 500 presets utilizing all 28 of their synths, from presets from, like, I don't know, it's just a massive number of really, really great sound designers, and you can grab it with any purchase from Plugin Boutique. One other thing I wanted to mention too, Rob, and I don't know if you know this, but we've recently partnered up with SSL now. You can grab SSL products on pluginboutique.com, and right now you can grab FlexVerb at 89% off. It's usually like 230 pounds. You can grab it for 30 pounds right now.
That's amazing.
It's absolutely, yeah, it's an insane deal. For people who are into or looking for new reverb, and just we've got a bunch of stuff coming out with SSL in the near future. Obviously, a wonderful company to have as part of the Plugin Boutique family.
Sure.
So we're going to be definitely checking out the channel strip. I think, it's got to be done, so we will be doing it. Some other things today, we are going to be giving away a copy of Everything Rob demos. So we got 10 plugins to give away to 10 lucky people. That's one plugin a piece, obviously. And we've kind of been doing it a little bit different, Rob. I don't know if you remember, but instead of just having people spam in the chat, we just want you to be positive and active in the chat. If you see someone ask a question that you know the answer to, by all means, help them out. If you have a question for me or Rob, or just about Plugin Boutique in general, put it in the chat, and we'll try to get those answered. And along the way, anytime Rob is demoing a product, that is the opportunity for you to win the product. You just got to be in the chat, the chatterers in the chat. And just do us a favor. It is our birthday, so we only ask you hit the like button and give the video a share right now on your social media. We're going to give you 30 seconds to get that done. Copy that URL and post it on your favorite social media place and have people come join us, just because we're looking to hang out and celebrate 10 wonderful years. And also, Rob, I don't know if you noticed my background here, but I'm in the luxurious Pirate Studio, and it's a little bit different because I've actually done a stream with you before from Pirate Studio in Brighton.
Oh.
But today I'm in London town, as they say. Absolutely smashing studio. And I don't know if you noticed
Certainly did.
the balloons, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Does everybody see the balloons? Thanks to Nick for sorting that out. Absolute treasure. And I have to bring those balloons an hour and a half back to where I'm staying, and then 2.5 hours to Brighton tomorrow. So those balloons are my new friends, and I'll take them with me everywhere I go until I bring them to the Plug and Boutique office tomorrow. They look nice, I think.
They're beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. But anyway, Rob, what do you got up for us in this first group of plugins you're about to demo?
So first up, we got a little group containing Pigments, Arturia Pigments, fantastic synth. We're going to look at just a few kind of lead design techniques. There's a really nice feature on the synth that I'm going to show, and then we're going to move on to some vocals production. So we got Access, Auto-Tune Access, and we've got Little Altar Boy from Sound Toys.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty intense that's the three first plugins we're going to be kicking this off with, because all three of those are absolutely well known and for good reason. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to watch what you do with Pigments. Pigments 3.5 obviously just came out. Everything from Arturia is absolutely smashing, and I really like the Pigments as an infusion to their otherwise kind of emulations of old school hardware. You can grab Arturia's Pigments right now on Plug and Boutique, 50% off. So if you like what you hear, you like what you see with Rob, or if you want to check out any of the videos that I've done on it, definitely do grab it. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to mention, Rob, is because it's our birthday and because we have such a wonderful family of manufacturers, so many people have offered exclusive sales for our community to help share the 10-year experience and just help people make better music. So Pigments is 50% off. Auto-Tune Access is 50% off. Obviously, it's called the T-Pain effect. He kind of really made it blow up. But that's not to say you can't use it a little bit more transparently just to help fix some vocals. And then obviously Sound Toys Little Altar Boy is when you really want to get crazy with vocals. So I'm interested to see what you're going to be doing with those two, if you're going to be going absolutely robotic or being a little more subtle with some pitch correction. But either way, Rob, I think I'm going to pass it to you, let you jump into that first group, and we will come back when you're done.
All right. Thanks, man. We'll see you in a bit.
Sounds good.
So, well, let's just get rid of Josh. Bye, Josh.
Oh, bye.
So here's the session here. So I'm just going to start off with some Loop Cloud beats. So I've got this hybrid hip-hop pack here. I've got a little kind of 8-bar pattern worked out. Obviously, we're not featuring Loop Cloud drum there, so I'm just going to close that. I just wanted to show you where the beats were coming from. And to these beats, I've got this lead sound and this vocals track. Obviously, we're going to come onto the vocals in a minute when we look at the vocal processing I've got going on here. But this one particular vocal here, so I wanted to create a kind of interesting lead or another melodic sound to work around that. So I've got Pigments here, and I'll just kind of show you the patch first and how I found the patch, and then I'll show you one particular technique within it, which is to do with the coarse tuning and the quantization of the coarse tuning dial, which makes for some really interesting expressive performance options with the patch. So this is the lead sound that I've got working around this vocal. You might notice there how the lead kind of stays on one level and then it goes up and down through a different melodic phrase to sort of fit around the vocal, so it doesn't get too busy until the vocal kind of calms down. Just going to get rid of Portal for a minute, which we're coming on to later on. So that's providing a bit of extra width and delay on there. So back in Pigments then, one thing you can see here is down in the mod wheel, on here you can see it's been automated, and that's what's creating the melodic phrase. Before we get onto that, by the way I found it was just by going to the preset menu and typing in hip hop and then lead and entering those tags there, and then just selecting it from the list, and it was called Glitter Wheel. So yeah, if we go into the clip here, you can see I've actually automated the mod wheel. Let's just get that out of the way for a minute. And if I just bring the automation back in. So you can hear as the mod wheel moves there, we get this nice melodic phrasing, and you can obviously just create any curve you want here. To create some really cool effects there. So I just wanted to show you with the default instance of Pigments how you can actually do that for yourself. So we're just going to move on to this track here. Turn Pigments on. I'm trying to do everything within the one session again today. Hopefully that's not going to cause any issues here. Anyway, let's just go to this default instance here. Let's record enable it. Set them both to wavetable. Oh yeah, probably we want to create a new preset first. Yeah, so we got them both set to wavetable now, both turned on. So what we want to do is assign the mod wheel to the course dial on both. Actually, what I'll do for Engine 2 is I'll just set it to a slightly buzzier waveform, just so we can hear the difference there. And then we go over to the mod wheel here, and then we just need to drag this, the outside of the wheel here, to detune it. Sorry, to assign it. So we're going to set it to around there-ish. So turn off Engine 2 just for a minute, so you can hear. Or did I just do the other one? Just did the other one. Turn off Engine 1 for a minute. You can hear it's going up and down an octave there. Engine 1, we can do exactly the same, so we come back over to the mod wheel, assign the course dial there as well, and just set that to a different amount here. And you can do this by ear, or you can look at the actual semitone values here. So if we just set it to max, obviously if they're set the same there, they're going up and down in the same way, but if I set it to a different amount there, so just come up an octave. So there you go. Now they're a fifth apart there because I've created a different amount of modulation. I'm also going to bring this one up an octave actually. So that's created the kind of intervals that the mod wheel's working on. But the really cool thing here that I wanted to show you was if you go over to this quantize thing here, you can then just turn on the edit and you can set different values. So if I just do it with Engine 1 for a second, if I just turn them all off apart from maybe the fifth, so that's seven semitones above, so this is the root here. And you can hear it's only jumping to those values. And then I can add in a third, and then maybe a slightly more interesting value, so this is minor third, and then maybe a augmented fifth or diminished sixth, whichever that is. You can create kind of cool melodies. So I'll do exactly the same with Engine 2 as well. Just turn on quantizing, just set it there, like so. And then, because they're set to these sort of different ranges across the mod wheel, it creates really nice melodies. So I just thought that was a really cool feature, something just really nice to show you that you might not have noticed or known about within Pigments. And yeah, now you can use it within your own patches to create these sorts of lead sounds. There you go. Cool, so that's Pigments. Let's move on to vocals now. So I've got these three different vocal sounds, and they're all kind of different ethnicities, if you like. Or one of them here is like a sort of Baltic style vocal, maybe. It's a strong vocal. It's got a lot of kind of sliding going on in it, and there is some slightly, well, obviously it's natural, so there's going to be a bit of natural pitch variation and stuff that might need to be corrected if you want it to be spot on. And then we've also got this second one here. You are everywhere. I feel you care. It's already got a bit of pitching. Actually, it's been brought down a bit here. And then we've got this last one. We heard that already. That's the kind of Arabic style one. So they've all got this sort of sliding around. The pitch is going all over the place, particularly this last one. Yeah, you can hear really, really kind of slides down almost outside of the scale in this particular part. So if we wanted to make all of these fit with the style and give it the classic sound, then there's obviously only one plugin that you can use to really do that, and that is Auto Tune. Give it a sec. Here it goes. It's really, really easy to use, so I really don't need to do a hell of a lot here. You just add it to the track, turn it, set it to the scale that you want it to be. So in this case, E minor, and that's it. And then you can hear now it's turned on. There it is, and now you'll hear all of these, just how different they sound. I'll go through them all with the beats, and I'll turn Auto Tune on and off. So I'll start with them off. You can hear just how much it, just gets it spot on in the scale and completely in tune, which is just what you want really for this kind of a style of music, and to give it that more kind of modern sound. The only other thing really you have to play around with here is the retune speed. You've got an option for slowing down the amount of retuning. I've got it set to fast at the moment, which is what gives it that classic, very obvious auto-tune sound. You can set it to a lower value if you want it to be more natural, like medium maybe. Particularly at the end there, where it's got that little bit of glissando going. So yeah, there's not really much more I can do to demo it there. There's a humanized dial there as well, although on these particular vocals I found it to be fairly subtle. I think it's more for acting on these sort of long sustained notes though, just to give them a bit more naturalness, but a bit too subtle to probably play for you here. Anyway, yeah, that's Auto Tune. Superb at obviously getting your vocals spot on, with a few clicks. So that's Auto Tune. The other thing I thought would be cool to do with this vocal is to use little altar boy here to add some additional layers. What we got here is the ability to repitch and shape the formant of the vocal. So you've got these two main dials for doing that. You can link them if you want, which means that as the pitch goes down, the formant goes down. Formant is the spectral shape, but it's kind of most commonly linked to the sort of size of the vocalist. So as the formant goes down, they turn into more of a giant, and as it goes up, they turn into more of a miniature person. So let's have a listen to that. course, you can unlink it and just have maybe, let's go down an octave here, but bring the formant up even higher. That gives you a lot of freedom for changing things there. You do have two additional options here. You have quantize mode, which it's basically where it acts very similarly to auto tune. So let's have a listen to that. Let's just turn off auto tune. You can clearly hear it stepping around there. It's not going to do it with the same kind of accuracy and in the same sorts of scales, so with the same degree of control that you have with auto tune, but you can hear it clearly stepping around with pitches there. And then you have robot, where it just stays on one pitch. So it could be a good thing to do if you wanted to create a sort of static note on the top there. If you want to bring up the level, you can just boost the drive here. Of course, create different sorts of intervals and harmonies. And so on. So what I've actually done here, which is kind of interesting, originally I just used it to create this sort of additional layer like we've been looking at. So yeah, the formant brought up a bit, pitch brought down an octave, and then max drive, and then a little bit of dry wet. But what I thought would be interesting is just to show you a few different techniques to give you some more inspiration. So what I've got is this little rack I've created. Obviously, I don't want to go into these for too long. We've got quite a few plugins to get through, but let me just show you this rack quickly. What I've done here is I've just added chains. Let's turn it on. One for the main vocal, so not set to a different pitch. One where it's up an octave, sorry, down an octave below, and then octave up where it's up an octave. And I've mapped the formants and the drives for each one of these to these macros here, and then I've just set them up onto different presets here, so it just automatically applies different kinds of effects, just so you can maybe try this for yourself if you work inside Ableton Live. But you can hear I've got this thickener now I can just turn on and off. So let's turn this one off. That's got like just a little bit of the layers, and we've got extra fat, and then silly, increasing the levels more and more. You can hear just how much extra fatness you can get there by adding those extra layers pitched up and down an octave with their nice drive added as well. So yeah, just a little bit of extra inspiration there with little altar boy. So let's bring back Josh. It always reminds me of little tortilla boy. Pablo Francisco. I don't know if you know that particular comedian and sketch. Check him out.
He's hilarious. I think.
Oh, you know him? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, is it on Netflix, or am I remembering from a YouTube video? Yeah.
So that I've seen anyway. Yeah, he should come to Netflix. He's great.
We got some questions coming in, Rob.
Okay.
One is Josie Cruz is asking what your favorite preset is, or maybe what your particularly favorite sounds that you can get out of Pigments are. You find there's one thing that it excels at, like Serum really excels at bass, for example.
I can't really pin it down. I've with some synths you do get that leaning definitely where like you say, Serum particularly good at those raucous basses or massive. And then you've got Novation hardware synths that I always kind of associate with very pristine kind of clean sounds, although obviously these days they've got a lot broader. But no, this synth doesn't really it can do all the stuff generally that Serum can do. It's got the wavetable functionality, it's got sampling, much more comprehensive sampling. So I think once you introduce the sampling, it starts to get a bit broader. It just opens out, so it gives you much more scope to do a bigger range of sound. So I don't really don't really, pigeonhole it to one thing in particular.
There you go. That's a good answer. I mean, it's got the 4 different engines in there, so
Yeah.
There's just so much you can do by way of complexity. Another question someone named George Mavrikis asked was, is Pigments fully automatable? And I think that the answer is yes. And pretty much everything you're going to want to automate is automatable in your DAW. It's also modulatable right inside of Pigments. So it's a very, very feature-rich synthesizer made by Arturia, who, I mean, no one needs to sing the praise of Arturia anymore because they've kind of cemented themselves at the top of the peak there. So if you're looking for a very well-rounded synth, I'd say Pigments is definitely one to put on the list of things to get for your toolbox. Yeah. Another question that came up while you were doing your auto-tune demo, and I didn't catch the name of the person. The chat is going by so fast. And keep it coming. We love to see the enthusiasm. Was about latency with auto-tune. A couple things about auto-tune access is that you get the actual auto-tune algorithms. You get the ones. It's just stripped back so it's easier to use, and you can get the results you want very, very quickly and without a lot of fuss. But you are getting the actual algorithms, and those algorithms are really, really good on CPU, which is a question that a lot of people have about plugins, and it has ultra low latency. So Autotune is very, very well known in the performance scene that you use it live. So when you see some of your favorite singers and you're just blown away about how well they're singing, Autotune may be helping in the background. Because it's used for real time on stage in the studio. So yes, to answer your question, ultra low latency can be used in real times 100%. And all 3 of those plugins are 50% off on Plugin Boutique, celebrating our birthday, giving back to the community the best way we can. As usual, Rob, you're just smashing the demos.
I thank you. I try.
And I appreciate you going for it with all-in-one project again.
Yeah, it just sometimes just opening up the other project is riskier than just disabling the plugins on different tracks. But I mean, honestly, even with most of them turned on, my CPU is still pretty low. But it's just the streaming puts that extra pressure on your computer that freaks it out.
We're gonna have to get you a second streaming setup.
Sure.
Yeah. Then you can have 4 monitors, 2 machines.
More monitors.
I mean? More. You can never have enough, to be honest. I just wanted to give everybody a quick update too on our other live streams. It's a big focus for us this year to start doing a lot more of the dev streams. We've got some really, really cool ones lined up. So definitely hit the subscribe button and that bell notification and have turned on always. They just keep adding more steps and layers to be able to get notified of channels here on YouTube. But we got big live streams coming up. We're going to keep having dev streams. People really like them. So we're going to get the manufacturers to come live on the Plugin Boutique channel and introduce their brand new plugins in their voice and be they're the best people, obviously, to demo those products. And then our community can watch and ask their questions in real time to the manufacturers about everything that's new. So we're looking to do that a lot this year. So make sure to subscribe. And you got to be subscribed to chat and win some of these plugins in the stream right now. So there's so many reasons to subscribe to Plugin Boutique. So just make sure you get it done. Hit the like button, be active in the chat, and you could win today. Rob, what's up next in Group 2?
Yeah, Group 2, we're going to look at a little bit of drum bus processing. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, and using some things you might not have necessarily thought to use. Certainly the first 1 or 2. We're going to start off with RC20.
Classic.
Yeah, but probably a little bit more thought of as something on leads and melodies maybe than drums. I don't know. I've certainly used it more on other sounds.
I throw it on everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're one of the guys. I've seen the T-shirts. RC20 on everything.
I want that T-shirt. I'll make it. You know what? If I can't find it, I'll make it. Yeah. So I also saw you using Loop Cloud Drum to make the drums, which is, don't sleep on Loop Cloud Drum. If you haven't checked it out yet, you need to. It's now available in a plug-in version, so you don't need a Loop Cloud subscription to get it. Maybe my friend Nick, who's monitoring the chat, can help me by throwing a link to it on Plugin Boutique. So it's a really, really great drum machine, and I'm happy to see you using it for the project. That's great.
Yeah, nice.
You also are going to be talking a little bit about Ozone 9 right now, right?
Exactly, yeah. We're going to look at using it on a drum bus.
Oh, there you go. See? So, I mean, I think that's a wonderful thing, because Ozone 9 has so many modules inside of it, and it's not just a mastering tool. You know what I mean? It can be used for mixing. It can be used for processing. The EQs are phenomenal. It's got the vintage modules. It's got the saturation. It's got so much inside of it that it doesn't need to just be on your master chain when at the final stage of your process. Another thing, too, just to let everybody know, is iZotope have been along for the ride for a long time now. A great friend to us personally and professionally, and they have actually supplied 10 plugins for just $10 a piece, and one of those plugins, Rob, is Stutter Edit 2. Ooh. You can grab Stutter Edit 2 right now for $10, which is insane to me. I mean, that is just too good of a deal to pass up. Did you do a demo on that last time we got together?
No, I've not done any streams with it, I don't think. I've done a course on it, though, so we've talked about it a bit.
All right. So the people can find that after they go grab it for $10, they can find a full course on it on Producer Tech. I also did a podcast with BT, who's the man behind Stutter Edit 2. So if people want to hear the people who make it, talk about it and what's possible with it, definitely check that out. Maybe, again, I'm asking so much of Nick, but maybe he can throw a link in the chat. But if not, just type in BT Stutter Edit Plugin Boutique. You'll find it. But 10 different plugins on sale right now. But what else are you going to be showing us? One other plugin in group number 2, right?
Inflator. Pretty quick one to demo. Only a few sliders on there. Very simple to use, but very effective.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Oxford Inflator is a very, very popular plugin for a very, very good reason. And it's, again, you don't need to be inundated with parameters that are tweakable. It's a limiter, so you put it on and it does the job, and it does it transparently, unless you push it and want a little bit of coloring. But that's what it's all about when it comes to limiters, is that you either want it to be not noticeable or you want it to color it and color really nice when you're pushing it. So, I mean, trust me when I say it is a very, very highly regarded plugin for very, very good reason. So while there's not a lot to tweak out, just put your good speakers on or put your good headphones in and listen to what Rob's about to do, because you're going to be impressed. But Rob, with that, I will let you take it away to group number 2. And everybody, to win, everybody that's just coming in first, sorry, Rob, I said go do it, and then I said, oh wait,
I'm on the starter blocks.
People just tuning in, we're celebrating 10 years of Plugin Boutique, and as a way to give back, every plugin that Rob demos right now, we're going to give a copy away to people who are active in the chat. So to be active in the chat, you got to subscribe, and you won't be let down, because we do nothing but good content like this, and we got a big 2022 lined up. But with that, Rob, for real this time, I'll let you jump into your demo.
Thanks, man. We'll see you in a bit.
Sounds good.
All right, back into the project. Once again, I've got my drums here being made with Loop Cloud Drum. We're just going to use those for this particular section. And I'll probably let's just check the level first. And then I'm just going to turn this rack on and off, because this is actually all of the plugs in there. And then I'm going to sort of show you how I built it. So quite a difference there. And what I've got going on in there, in fact, if I just add them one by one, then we can go through it. So we got RC20. And just to give you a very quick overview of RC20 then, you may well have heard about it already. It's got incredibly popular, and with good reason, because it's a fantastic plugin. If I run through the sections very quickly, you can see they're all labeled, so it's all pretty obvious. We've got noise, adding various kinds of noise effect. You've got different types there, but different types of quite a few of them as well. Like, for example, distortion here, where you can add a tube distortion or various other kinds, stuff that really crunches it up as well, as you can see. Then you've got wobble wow and flutter, creating kind of tape effects, messes around with the pitch, makes it go up and down. Wow being the very slow kind of tape, pitch distortion, and then flutter being the very fast, rapid one. You've got digital, which is kind of more like lo-fi style effects. You got space, actually this magnetic first on the end here. This is kind of one for really messing it up and creating kind of level modulation. Dropouts, for instance, if you want to kind of really screw up the signal. But as with a lot of these, set to very high levels, they kind of mess it up in a way that you might not want. But using a lot of them in combination at lower levels can produce really, really awesome effects, as shown in a lot of the presets here, where we have things like VHS. And different kind of vinyl effects. You've also got space on the end here, which is a reverb, but I won't show you that at this stage. We'll just move on to what I wanted to show, which is using on a drum bus to create different parallel layers. So the way I started off was using this bass wonder layer. Obviously, you're not going to want to have that on the signal itself as an insert effect because it's really screwing up all of your drums, but it is adding some really kind of cool frequencies in there, particularly on the low end. And what you'll notice actually down here is we do have an EQ which is turned on for this particular preset. So you can hear what this is. It's a bit of distortion. I think I'm going to actually just go into Loop Cloud Drum and turn the sub off so it's not quite so boomy. Let's just mute that. I've got the sub on another track here as audio as well. So bringing down the distortion a little bit there so it's not distorting as heavily. It's still creating a lot of saturation, pleasant sort of effects at the bottom there. So I'm going to group this up in Live, which puts it in a rack. So that's just right clicking on it. Group, if you don't know the shortcuts. And then I'm going to right click again and create chain. So this is our dry chain. And then this is our RC20. And that layer is obviously going to be set fully wet. So we've just got the kind of bass effect there. And then we can use the chain on the rack just to bring those bass frequencies in. How high you go is really dependent on how much of that kind of low-end fatness you want to add. And then I just repeated the process basically and just duplicated this chain and created my own one by just initializing this one. Actually, did I just do the right one? Yeah. Initializing this one. And then just adding what I wanted to it, which was, I can't remember what I added initially, but I think it was some space. When you're adding these additional layers, it's good to use the space actually to make sure you don't get any phasing, because if you add too many layers, particularly if the level's too loud, you're going to get phasing on the drums. Can't really hear it in this instance, but earlier on when I did it was phasing quite a lot, which is obviously the problem when you do this. So adding a bit of space there got rid of that. So I'm going to give it some space so it's got a bit of reverb there, and I'm also going to filter it more extremely so it's just adding some mids here, because obviously with your drum signal you're going to want it to punch through really heavily in the mids. So yeah, just an idea for you there to use RC20 to build up these different parallel chains with your drums, using the EQ to get the frequencies of each layer right, and then just using each one of these to add what you like. I'm just going to bring out here's one I made earlier, essentially. Rack, which is in here. Let's just pull this one out. Let's just stop that one. So here's the difference on this one. Obviously I spent a little bit longer tweaking this one, which is difficult to do on a stream, but yeah, it's got a lot of extra fatness, a lot more of that beef at the bottom end. The mids are really kind of brought up there. We've got a lot of crunch in the middle going on, and obviously the space and depth coming from that reverb there as well. So yeah, just some new ideas there for using RC20. I hope you'll enjoy. Now let's get Ozone 9 on there, because like I was saying earlier, it's kind of a cool thing to do rather than just always using it on your master channel. Of course, it can be used to master as you go, which is a good idea. Whether you call it mixing or mastering is up to you, but a lot of people would call it mastering once you've got the drums kind of sounding right and you're processing them parallel layers and that kind of thing. You can then add Ozone 9 onto this bus to just kind of polish the sound a little bit. In this case, we're going to use Ozone 9 and also Inflator, so we're going to be kind of mastering it, a rough master, and also some limiting on there as well at the end, or inflation, which is more like maximization. Anyway, let's move on to the presets here then. And instruments and buses is what you want, and you've got some really cool stuff in here for various kinds of instrument buses, including the different drums ones here, detailed drums. We're getting really kind of bright and full there. So we're just going to work through some of the different modules so I can just show you some of the features in there. Obviously, when using a preset, if you're using the assistant here, that can be a great way of getting it to personalize the plugin for you. But if you're using a preset, of course, then it's going to come with certain settings that might not be completely ideal, but they're really good starting points, and they give you, an idea for what you should be focusing on, and particularly when it comes to things like EQ. I'm just going to turn off these last two modules here, exciting and maximizing. We probably don't want the excitement because we've already got a lot of crunch going on with the RC20 rack, but you do have that there if you want it, and probably come back to it in a bit. Dynamics is just adding a bit of compression. I'm just going to leave that where it is. So let's come over to the EQ section, and this is actually a mid-side EQ. So it's showing me in the mid section where I want to be focusing on. As I mentioned already, the 1K kind of area is something you definitely want to pull out. It's ducking this kind of band around here, around the 506 mark, which is where some of those muddier frequencies live. And you can see when I move over it, I can just solo any of these. So a good thing to do when you do load out these presets is just to kind of solo the bands, listen to what they're doing, turn them on and off, see if you can hear the difference, and boost them or cut them a little bit more if you need to hear it more obviously. And then just move them around, maybe following the different peaks you've got on your analyzer to customize it a little bit more with your own drums. Yeah, it's sounding pretty nice. It's also got a bit of side EQ here, which I'm not totally sure about, but it's trying to duck out some of the highs here to make it a little bit harsh. Not sure whether I'd keep that in or not. But let's move on to the imager. What I wanted to show you here, because this is something that's extremely cool, and it allows you to really get a handle on your stereo image. The imager down in the bottom corner here shows you how much stereo information you've got going on. And yeah, and then you've got these different bands here, which are set above here for defining how much width is going on within each band. And if I see it over here on this EQ8 I've got here, and I set it to mid-side mode, make sure we're looking at the side, you can also see the frequencies we've got going on. And if I turn this on, we can just hear them. So we've got a lot of low frequencies going on there that we might not want. So we can actually fix that a little bit more aggressively in this section by adjusting the bands here, and then just, you know, really bringing them down. So the lows here get completely dropped out of this the side signal. And you do the same with the band above here. There you go. So that's kind of sorted out the stereo width. You can see if I turn this section on and off and we look at the frequencies in the sides now. There you go, we've got a much better stereo image going on with the drums now. Let's just listen to the whole signal. Very nice. One thing I might also do here actually is use the exciter in mid-side mode, which is a very cool option here as well. You can maybe not have any in the mid if the drums have got enough of that going on, but if you want to add a bit more excitement in the stereo image, then you can actually click on the side there and just do it there. Wicked. Yeah, so really nice options there. You've got tons more, of course. You've got your maximization for really fattening the sound up as well, but we're not going to use the maximizer there. We're going to use Oxford Inflator to do that instead. So let's bring that in. Again, as I was saying before, it's a very simple to use effect. Obviously that's a great thing though. It means that you can get instant results just with a couple of parameter changes. Input and output level controls at the start and end of the plug, and then it's all about these controls in the middle really. The effect here boosts the amount of inflation that you're getting, and then the curve sets sort of how, I suppose, aggressive, but how obvious or subtle it is. In this upper range it will be more obvious, and in the lower range subtler. So let's just have a listen to that. It really kind of brings the drums to life, fattens them up, fills out a lot of those drum sounds, gives it a lot more presence. Yeah, fantastic sound at the top end. Obviously, this rack could use a little bit of tweaking. I've got maybe a bit too much excitement going on. It's a little bit harsh sounding, but no, really, really nice effect here. I've also got inflator on the master bus, where we can hear it maybe with this sub as well, which I've got maybe a little bit loud. So yeah, I've got the level going up a little bit high there, so you can hear it clipping. Clip is generally turned on as default, but you can actually turn it off if you want to give yourself a bit more headroom within the plugin itself. I pretty much just leave it on though. You've also got this band split option here, which as you can see from the helpful text popping up, it just splits it into bands and processes it as separate bands instead of the whole signal, which apparently avoids intermodulation distortion. But yeah, it seems to work even better, I find, when you've got sounds with a lot of sub bass, like this kind of effect. It really kind of opens it up, fills it out, fattens up the sound. Yeah, I could even try it with a few other sounds here, just to hear the difference there as well. You can hear it a lot much more obviously there when you've got those melodic sounds in as well, just what it does to this sort of overall presence and fullness of the sound. So fantastic plugin there, Sonox Inflator. So yeah, that finishes this mini drums bus section. Let's just move back here and bring in Josh. Hey man.
Am I back?
You're back.
I'm back. Absolutely wonderful. Everybody in the chat, just real quick, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to tell me where you're coming from, where you're tuning in from, and also just put the fire emoji. I can't find the fire emoji, Rob. It's a shame. I want to use the fire emoji so often in my life, and it's so difficult to find it, but people know. People are savvy in the chat. They can put it there for me. Rob, big question in the chat that we need answers to, if you can. I mean, it's a serious question. It's a personal question.
Okay.
But people are wondering, what's up with the earbuds, buddy?
As in, why have I not got my serious cans? Or...
Yeah. There are literally multiple people asking, so I figured we might as well just get it out of the way.
Yeah, what's
up with the earbuds?
They sound awful. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, as far as critical listening goes, I can't really say it's optimum for this, in that kind of a situation. But I thought I'd do it just because they are a bit, serious on the head.
Yeah,
you get a bit toasty but no, I thought I'd go same as you, man. I'm trying to.
Well, I mean, my earbuds are great, dude. I can mix tracks with my earbuds, so I don't know what you got on, but mine sound absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Someone else was asking in the chat the difference between mid-side processing and left-right processing. I'm happy to answer, Rob, but I figured since you're doing the demos, you might want to let people know.
Yeah. Well, it's a big difference. One is simply the channel 1 and channel 2 in the stereo field. So, for example, when you change the panning on a stereo signal, it moves literally from between the left side and the right side, channels 1 and 2 in the stereo field. One gets louder, one gets quieter. The midden side is a little bit more complicated to understand. Certainly if you're a beginner, it's to do with the difference between summing the signals and subtracting the signals, or like getting the difference between them. The mid is essentially the mono signal though, so it's whatever lies exactly in the center. And when you have a stereo signal where the left and the right channels are identical, then there will be only mid signal, so everything will be 100% mono. As soon as you introduce a few differences between the left and right, you start to get that leaking into the side. It's called the side signal. And allowing effects where you can process these things separately just gives you so much more control over the stereo image, because you can just process what's what's being what's in the side signal, just the stereo information on its own, just gives you a lot more processing functionality and options. Yeah.
That makes sense. It's a great answer, Rob. Thank you for that. Also, I just want to let everybody know that the Oxford inflator by Sonics is on sale right now for 75% off. So only one lucky person is going to win it, but now is definitely the time to grab it. That is an exclusive promotion for the Plugin Boutique birthday. Obviously, like I said, Isotope have 10 different plugins for $10 a piece, including Stutter Edit too. Go grab it. And also, we just did a kind of flash sale, Rob. I don't know if you're aware of RC20. I think it was like $20 or something. Absolutely insane. For people who missed that, one, you missed it because you're not subscribed to the newsletter. So subscribe to the newsletter. And two, it's actually still on sale for 30% off. It's not quite as good. It was 80% off, but this is just one reason to subscribe and open and read the letters we send out, because if you're subscribed, you would have gotten an email about that. And, you know, it's not the first incredible deal, and it definitely won't be the last. So be subscribed to the newsletter, open it up, and just give it a read. You don't have to buy a plugin every time we send you a letter, but I mean, sometimes, Rob, just sometimes. I mean, there's just a deal like that. In like the SSL Flex Verb right now for 89% off. It's probably not going to happen again for many, many years, so you should grab it now while you can. But that being said, one other thing about deals, as a celebration for 10 years of Plugin Boutique, there are over 35 plugins for $10 a piece to celebrate 10 years of Plugin Boutique. It is the pinned comment in the chat, so make sure to click that and check those out, just because. I mean, who knows if something on your wish list is right there right now for just $10. And I think that's everything. And also, who noticed the balloons getting closer?
I did.
You did?
They distracted me.
They did? I mean, I was just wondering if anyone noticed I was doing that. No one said anything, but really I'm only talking to you, Rob. So
I was gonna say something, but I felt like it was inappropriate just in the middle of the demo. Oh, the balloons!
You need to let me know. They might be trying to attack. What do we got? What do we got up next here on the group stage?
Yeah, so just 2 more groups, 2 plugins in each. The next one is going to be ducking and diving.
Ducking and diving. I didn't know you had like all kinds of classy names for these groups.
Yeah. Track spacer initially, so we're going to be looking at the ducking. Shaper box 2, which isn't actually diving, but it's more like shaping. So that's that's going to be used to kind of sculpt and add really interesting movement to sounds.
Well, for people who don't know, I am a huge fan of Track Spacer. I have on my personal channel, I've raved about it on other live streams. It is an absolute beast of a plugin. It does exactly what you need it to do with precision and grace. And Rob is obviously going to show you what it does, but this is just another plugin that I am 100% all about. You need to grab it if you can. 30% off right now, so maybe now is the time. But you know, it's just so great. I love the precision of having I think it's 32 band dynamic EQ essentially that just does it automatically for you, and you get some of the most precise and clean sounding sidechains that you can get. We're talking about having 32 EQs on 32 individual small bands across the frequency spectrum doing all the work and cleaning up the mix all by themselves. So, and then we got the Shaper Box. I've done lots and lots of videos on the Shaper Box, and the cable guys just keep adding modules to the Shaper Box suite. It's now up to 8 different modules, and they all function the same. So once you know how to use one, you can use them all. And it's got the time shaper, volume shaper, filter shaper, pan shaper, width shaper, noise shaper, crest shaper, and drive shaper. That's so many.
How many shapers is too many shapers?
I mean, and Cable Guys was in the chat. Cable Guys, if you're still in the chat, let us know. Say hello again. But with that, Rob, I'll let you show people rather than having me talk about these things. I think it's always best.
Okay, buddy.
All right. See you in a bit.
So we'll move on to a slightly different part of the track here, or part of the project. So I've got the sub going still. I've got this nice top loop. And I've got this pad sound now, which is literally just analog, a default instance with a little bit of detuning. And all I've done is I've created a MIDI clip here. And all I did, in fact, let's just do it again so I can show you. I just added a few notes here to create a MIDI, a minor chord, starting on E, because that's the key of our song here. Everything is tuned to E here, or in E originally. So to create a minor triad here, we just go up in 3 semitones to create the minor, third, and then up to the 7th on B. There you go. That's our minor chord, and then I'm just going to drag these out. Actually, let's just duplicate it, and then set these to the right rhythm, which is just to have it switching right at the end there, like so. So that's our rhythm there. And all I wanted to do was shift all of these up a semitone by literally just dragging them up one to create a minor triad on the next note up here, which is F. And that sounds like this. And if I think I'm going to drop them down an octave. So obviously sawtooth wave here, very buzzy, lots of harmonics, and you can see just how much content they have going on there. So if I have this just as it is, it sounds very cool and moody, but it's really kind of dominates, obviously, because it's such a wideband sound. So if we have these, the vocal on, say, at the same time. You can hear just how much it sort of masks it, and if it's not obvious enough, I created this quite cool rack actually here, which I'm fairly proud of, which is what I call my side monitor and EQ rack, and it allows me to very quickly listen to the side. As well as carry out lots of different side EQ options here with just these different presets, and also listen to various bands on the signal, so I can listen to just the subs. Or various other parts of the spectrum. So if we just listen to the mids there, then when I bring the pad in and out, it becomes even more obvious just how much that pad is stepping on the toes of the vocals, really getting into its space. So we're going to use track spacer to fix that. What we do is we put it on the pad channel, and then we open up this little actually we don't, no, we just go straight to sidechain here, and we select vocals, and then you can see when I play it, let's just get rid of anything we don't need. You can now see the vocal appearing on the analyzer. So that's really handy because it shows me the frequencies in the vocal, and what it means is at the moment we're acting on the entire signal, so that whenever this vocal sounds, it's ducking the whole of the signal, so it's acting much like a sidechain compressor right now. But if we use these dials on the edges here, we can just get rid of the ducking effect on the bits we don't want, and then I can close them around the vocal, meaning that we have a more kind of transparent ducking effect. And you can see what's going on here as well, because you can see the frequencies in the pad. So it's really just completely ducked out those frequencies there. Now we don't have to have it as extreme. We can bring down the amount a bit. We don't have to have it, punching a hole fully. We're listening to the side still. What's going on? Oh no, just listening to the band. Listen to the whole signal now. We could also even speed it up a little bit if we wanted to. The release could be even snappy. So loads of different options there. Really, really useful plug because you can really zone in on the frequencies that you want to focus on, and you can just have those ducking to create all that extra space in the mix. So, and it's so easy to use. You can, as Josh was saying, you just drop it on anything, and it's definitely replaced all the instances when I'd be using a sidechain compressor before. Pretty much now have been replaced by track spacer. So really, really awesome plug for cleaning up your mixes. So the other thing we wanted to look at here then, what would also be cool with this is to apply a bit more movement. I'll turn off track spacer for now and we'll just get shaper box. So this is shaper box then. It's got all these different modules, as Josh was saying. I think he said 8 and I don't see 8. I thought I had them all. Maybe not. There's 2 more for me to get, but I can show you a few of them. They all work in exactly the same way, pretty much. So let's just choose volume initially, and then we'll look at how to create your own curve here. So here's our pad once again. We've got a bar right now. We can change the duration here, but let's just keep it on bar for now, and I'll show you how you can draw a curve. Maybe choosing this option here, which is good for straight lines. So you just have to click anywhere on this on this graph. So at the moment it's creating a sort of very obvious tremolo effect, but the thing that I find particularly, or more like a gating effect I suppose, but the thing that I find most useful about this is that you can actually create multiple bands, which is really, really awesome. So for instance, if I just want this to be going on the upper frequencies, I just have to slide the crossover across. And now you can clearly see here on the analyzer and also here that it's just acting on the upper frequencies, which means you can then click on the low here, and then we can create some kind of different option here by drawing one in or by choosing one of the presets, maybe one of these pumping ones. It's a bit too slow at the moment, but we can speed it up. Now it's on every beat. We can trash it and create our own here. If you want to draw a larger curve, you just click and then just drag to where you want, and it's like that. You just then click again and it creates that really, really quickly and easily. I think the editing's just got better and better with this. Every time I use it, it seems like it's easier to use. Here you can solo each band as well, which is really nice too. And then just to add additional curves on top, you just click plus, click on the one you want. Let's just go with filter this time. Again, we could choose a preset. I'll show you a different curve here. Let's do like a sine wave. I'm going to click here, drag along, pull up. We've got the upper one like that, and then go the other way down here. and then over there. And there we have it, sine wave. Can increase the speed. So again, really, really nice to have this band select here to choose what you want. If you want to save these, by the way, you can do that really easily. You just click here, saves it in there, scrap it, and then just draw in something else, like maybe something a bit more random here. Save that, and then you can switch between the two really quickly and easily here. You can even turn on the MIDI switch that allows you to play different MIDI notes to activate these. So it's also got some utilities. Oh, one thing I did find, I think I've shown this on a previous stream actually, but you can obviously map this very easily. For instance, in live here, we can configure and then add that. So you can add these crossovers within live, and then you can automate them within live, which we could do quickly, say, using the LFO. Just drag that in. And then map it to this one here. So you can see the LFO just bringing those high frequencies in and out there, so we're only acting on the lower ones with our curve. Very nice. There's one more thing I was just going to show actually. If I just bring RC20 over here, which is adding a bit of the space effect, you can hear now suddenly we've got a bit of stereo information going on. And as we were talking about with the before, in fact we were looking at before when we were looking at the stereo image, it's good to get a handle on that. So there's a width one here as well, which is very cool. You can just turn that one on. And in fact you also have here, if I add it again, these different options here, and you've got mono bass, so you can very quickly select that. And if you look over here, you can see this low band here, low frequencies are set to completely mono on the curve. So it's a way of immediately removing all the lows, and then it allows you to come in, say, and just create some kind of a maybe rising curve here for the stereo width maybe of the high frequencies. So you've got a really, really interesting sound now out of that just fully sustained pad. We've got our volume automation, our filter curves, and also our width as well. Let's just turn it on and off. There we go. So that's Track Spacer and Shaperbox. Let's bring Josh back. The balloons got even closer. I can't hear you, by the way. It's still muted.
Sorry. I was just trying to type to someone in the chat to let them know that the winners will be announced at the end of the stream. If you're just tuning in, we do give away copies of the VSTs we show on stream, and we will be giving a copy of all those away to random winners who are in the chat being positive, and we will give them away at the end of the stream. However, if you need to dip, and this person was saying they need to go, I'm like,
They are attacking. I knew it. They're invading. Look out.
We will post the winners in the comments. It'll be the pinned comment here, and you can also watch back. This video will be archived if you want to watch Rob's demos or hear anything about the deals or anything else we've talked about. And, of course, hear who won. That will all be there for you. But a couple of things, Rob. Cable guys in the chat.
Oh.
Absolutely wonderful to see. Being very active. They are on a 90-second they're on a 90-second timer just like everybody else. So if you hang out, they will get back to everybody who's asking them questions. But they're telling me, Rob, that you have an old version, and there are, in fact, 8 modules now. So you need to get updated, my friend.
Oh, damn.
But we'll make sure you got that. And Cable guys,
awesome.
Talking to you. If you're listening, I know you're listening. Let's do a dev stream. How about a chat? Tell us in the chat if you want to see Cable guys do a dev stream on Plugin Boutique, and they can show you how they feel about Shaperbox, or maybe the next plugin they got coming out. Who knows? But let us know what you think. And one other thing, people are excited about 400 likes, Rob. I feel like that's selling short. It's our birthday. We're asking.
It's 10,000.
It's 10,000 likes. I don't think that's a big ask, right?
I don't think so. No.
It's free to do. Just go ahead and smash the like button. I want to see 500, Rob, or I won't be able to sleep tonight. I know I'll go into the office tomorrow, and people will give me, they just won't look at me right. So do it for me. Do it.
You have to stay home. Stay home. Do it for the children. Stay home. Hang out with your balloons. Everything will be fine.
Really just on top of me at this point. I feel like another thing I wanted to mention is Beatport is running a remix competition with Gioli and Asia, I believe it is. They're Italian. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, please let me know. I know you will if you're from Italy. But if you win, not only do you get a massive prize package, but your chance to perform a back-to-back live set with them in Ibiza.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. I'm just learning about that prize because I would have been making a remix already. My friend Nick has been posting links. If you are someone who does remixes, you feel like you're confident in that, or if you just want to play around with some, stems from some really, really talented producers, definitely check it out and try to win that prize because, hardware, software is wonderful, but a back-to-back DJ set in Ibiza, that's the dream, right?
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to be a small party. So definitely check it out. Check the links. I'll post a link in the video description after we're done here. But with that being said, I think that's really all the notes I had before we can move on to Group 5. Or no, yeah, Group 4. What is Group 4's name?
It hasn't really gotten excited. Mo Melodies and effects.
Oh yes, that is good. You came up with that on the fly, but I respect it. Came out great. What do we got? What do you got on the plate for Mo Melodies?
We've got Scalar 2.
Ooh,
that's where the
community favorite.
Yep, Mo Melodies is at. That's going to be just creating kind of a cool performance to go with that pad we just made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just showing another way of sort of getting going with it, which is. Yeah, it's one I've not really shown much before, but it's just sort of inputting notes and going that way.
All right,
because it is a valid way of starting with the plug. So yeah, we're going to do that, and then we're going to create a captured performance, and then we're going to look at Portal.
Portal is a wonderful, wonderful effect.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before, but a thing I like to do with Portal is just take like a rhythmic percussive pattern and just keep bouncing different, just running it through, even just presets or getting into the advanced panels and just bouncing loop after loop after loop, because it just spits out such unique sounding material after you process the audio. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing what you do with it. And I'll just let you get into it, Rob. I'm excited to see.
Cool, man. Right, I'll get into it then.
See you in a bit.
See you in a sec. Right, cool. Last group then, like I said, we're starting off with Scalar. And yeah, as I said, often when I get going with Scalar, I do it in a number of different ways. Like, obviously you can choose one of the presets, like songs or artists. You can choose a scale, or you can also detect. So Using the detection, for instance, we could come over to the pad sound. If it was a sample, and we could add the Scalar 2 audio plugin on there, and then you just turn on the record and you detect the signal, and you can see what it comes up with in terms of figuring out the chords that way. But this way of starting is one I don't tend to do as often, but yeah, it's a cool way of doing it, because if you've got some notes that you've entered, which people might do a fair bit, they're just messing around with notes or getting a few chords going and getting a hook going that way, and then knowing what to do after that, as in what scale you're in, you know, how to create melodies, what notes you should be playing, what chords you might want to play. It's difficult to know when you get to that sort of a point. So so we've got this little hook now going from that E minor to F minor. Say I didn't know that though. I know I've entered those notes and they sound cool. Then I can just come over to Scalar and I can create these chords down here in the chord builder by just clicking on the first block here, entering the notes. Now, like, obviously I don't have to look at my clip, but we saw I entered them earlier, so it's just a minor triad going from the E up 3 and then 4 up from there. So 3 and 7 semitones apart to create that minor triad, and it's showing me, yes, that's E minor. And then I go on to the next one and enter the next one, just going up a semitone for each one. So E goes to F, A flat, and then C. And it's telling me that's an F minor triad. So there we have our 2 chords in our riff, and it's not that much to go on necessarily, but and although you don't have to do this, you could see this F minor as a departure from the scale that you're playing in. So that would open up a lot more options, because if you wanted to work out which scale had both of these chords in, and you can do that within Scalar, so that's what we're going to do. You do it by just dragging over these to select them, right clicking, and then going Detect. And if I close this now, it's selected the scale that has all of these triads in. And I know this from, you know, if I step through many other E scales, you'll find out that pretty much all of the others have F sharp in. It's a much more common interval there for that second. This one semitone gap between the E and the F is rare. So very kind of exotic sounding scale there, but yeah, quite an original one. And when you find this sort of thing in Scalar, you might just think, yeah, I'll go with that for something different and exciting. And once you've got this in Scalar now and you've got your scale selected, you can then choose different chords to play, say, or just go into the different perform modes, which is what we're going to do. So now we've got them entered down here. I can just click on the bind switch down here, and I can drag over our pad, and then I just need to if you're new to Scalar, by the way, I mean, there's so much it can do. I fully recommend you check out one of the courses I've done. I've done 2 courses on it now. One specifically on modulation, the modulation section, because there's so much in there. But what it's doing now, now that we've bound to this section, is you can see these notes are grayed out. When I click on them, they're actually triggering these different chords here. So if I drag more in here, I could then use these notes to trigger it. So what we want now in live is a MIDI clip that just triggers these notes, C2 and D2. So I come over here, I just go to the notes we have here, get rid of these, and then just shift them to C2 and D2, and then it's going to play those 2 chords. Oh, let's just solo this one. No, this one. So it's playing the same chords now, but what we're really looking for here is some exciting kind of accompaniment to go with the chords. So we're just going to turn this on, and I'm going to go through a few of the different performance modes. And there's so much in here. You've got common modes that we're going to come on to soon. These were sort of added later on in a more recent version. I think it was 2.5, which is what we're on currently. But previously you had just these ones here, and they're worth going through to find the ones that you'd like best, because when you first load them up, you might think they all sound a little bit too classical, maybe. But, you know, if you go through them here, and they speed up, by the way, this is the fastest group here. You get some really interesting ones going on in here. You get some really kind of cool sounds. or cool kind of phrases. You can also control the timing here to speed them up or slow them down. Let's just change the sound though. You've got all sorts of different synth sounds. There's loads of really, really good synth sounds in here. So although you might want to work with Scalar by instantly routing it to control another sound in your project, which again is something you can do very easily. If you did want to work with Scalar first just to get ideas going, or even just like fully in Scalar but then export the MIDI, which is what we're doing in this case, then you've got loads of kind of cool sounds to work with. For instance, some of these. And you've got some really nice, more acoustic-y type effects as well. I often find myself using the different string ones here. But not for this particular track, so we're going to go with maybe the hybrid one for this one. And yeah, I'm going to go to the common performances here and just choose one of these chordal options. Go for this second one, I think. And I might use the voice grouping here because this changes the notes being played. Sounding pretty good. If you want to bring it up an octave, you just click here and then you can shift it up. Dynamic +1. So what I might do here, if I want to capture a phrase, I can do that and I can actually mess around with different performances. You can also assign by right-clicking and create command mappings for different settings, and then you can map a load to your keyboard as I've done in a previous stream and then just trigger them using the keyboard. In this case, I'll just do it manually though to show you an example. Let's just record in the phrase a couple of times and then change the speed just to show you. Well, in fact, I'll show you first. If you drag out as is and then just drag that straight onto a track here, you can see we've got that pattern going up just from one chord to the next with the 2-beat timing here. So if we want to create it with the timing that we've got here, which is just shifting on that the last part of the phrase, then we have to record it in, or it's the easiest way to do it. So if I just go MIDI capture here, and while it's capturing, I'll change the timing. Actually, let's just stop that a minute. Slow it down a bit to make it a bit easier. Oh, sorry, I screwed it up. Let's just go again. So MIDI capture. That's one thing with Scalar. I found that if you stop it with the space bar, so you stop your transport, rather than stopping it on the effect, then you can lose your recording. So I hit stop that time. So now we can just drag it straight out onto the track here. Now you can see that recording. So the timing changed in various places there. I think I got it right the second time round. So let's just loop that part. And there we have it. You can also do certain things like, you can see a little bit of, is there velocity fluctuations? A little bit there maybe, but you can turn on humanize, which is another really cool thing here. And then you can set it so that it randomizes and applies very slight randomization to the timing or velocity or both, which is a really nice thing to do if you want to create more natural phrases. So that's a really nice thing to turn on as well when you're doing this. And then when you drag out the pattern, you'll see little timing and level variations. So yeah, that was a workflow I just wanted to show you there, how you can quickly create something really interesting to go with your pads that's matching the harmony and in a particular scale that you've selected, which you can then now go on to create additional melodies and if you like, different chord sequences with as well. So I've got them on this track now. And we're going to move on to the last plugin now, which is Portal. So I've got Carbon Electra. I thought I'd open up this one. It's plugin Boutique Synth. And I'm just going to, this is the default patch, but I'm just going to turn on Oscillator 2 for a minute. Actually, I'm going to use it in sync mode. So it's just playing a sort of slightly nasty sound right now, but I'm going to shorten it. So that's creating a kind of nice plucky sound, which I thought would be a good one to work with using Portal. As Josh was saying, it's a fantastic sounding plugin, and it's something that you can just get, obviously untold great results from just by choosing one of the groups like Start here, which really shows you what the plugin can do, and then just stepping through. Really awesome, fun to play with, and great on melodies, great on beats. So you can get loads of usage out of it this way. But what I thought would be interesting, for now, just so you can perhaps learn a bit more about the plugin, is just to try creating our own preset. So I'm just loading it up in default mode, and we're just going to go to the sort of advanced panel here, and I'm just going to show you a few things. So we got our grain control up here. So essentially it's a delay, it's a grain delay. And you've got a few different options here. Here are the main sort of grain controls. And we're going to go straight into macro 1 and we're going to assign it to the main dry wet of the grain area here. So you just drag that over like that, and then you just turn it up so that when you increase macro 1, it turns up the delay. It would help if the plugin was on. It's like, why is it not showing me the dry wet? Okay, so now it's turned on. That's actually going to give us a result here. So the way to set up the macro, as you can see, once you've dragged it over to the control, you then click on this little purple section here. It allows you to set the suitable range. Now we have it in the minimum position. We can set where we want it to be in a minimum. I don't want it all the way down. I'm going to set it sort of around there. And then I want to have maximum going all the way up to the top. So I'm going to drag it up to there. And that is our delay. We can just name it kind of delay amount, something along those lines. And we can set up the delay however we like. So we can increase the offset maybe. You've got pitching here, although I don't tend to mess around with that as much, but can create some cool effects there. I'm going to bring up the density so it's a bit faster. Sounding nice. And then I'm just going to change the size. So when you bring down the size here, it goes a bit more kind of gated. So getting a little bit of lag there. Okay, I won't go into too much detail because I want to get too boring for you guys perhaps, and it is being a bit laggy. Too many plugins open in my project, but yeah, let's drag this over to the size and then maybe have it so as you bring it up, the size goes down slightly. yeah, maybe that'll do for that one. And then let's just have the stretch on here, because the stretch is a really cool one that allows you to stretch out the delay that re-triggers with whatever frequency you set here. So if you, for example, listen to what happens when I slow it down. So you get that kind of, at the moment, freezing, because it's just set to sort of loop and hold. So let's just have this one controlling that. We're going to turn it up, and then we're going to have this turning it down. So when we turn it up all the way, it goes all the way down. When we bring it all the way down, it goes back up to the top again. So turning this up stretches it out. You can create some really kind of interesting effects here by messing around with these. Shape is another quite important one, and a very cool one to notice when you look at the dots on the XY pad here. You can see them moving in and out here. When you have a sort of grain delay with a lot of feedback, it can get very hectic when all the dots are sort of close together, but as you increase the shape there, it really kind of expands it out, as you can see. And harder to demo it properly with the lag I've got going on, but so anyway, we've mapped our macros. We've done some cool stuff there. Just show you these curves down the bottom, because you've got a few other options here. You've got master effects, but you've also got two additional effects here with a bit reducer and a reverb. So it's just use one of these curves to apply some modulating reverb. So we turn on the reverb. Again, we just drag the plus down to the dry wet, maybe turn it all the way down, but then have the curve here bring it up and down. So it's just in the middle at the moment. So let's just add some points here. So we can have it sort of going up and down. You see, it's very easy just to create these sort of points that go up and down here. So let's play it. So you can hear how it's bringing that reverb in and out in that really kind of nice fashion. And it'll do that without you having to mess around with the XY pad. So it gives you several different options here for sort of creating cool effects. So for instance, we've already got this modulation going on without having to do anything. We just load up the preset and it's ready to go. And of course we can save this now just by clicking on save and saving it to our user presets. But let's just quickly record in, not there though, session here. I'll just record in a bit of automation of the XY pad so you can see that happening. No, there. There you go, gives you a rough idea. Computer freaking out just slightly, but yeah, you can see how you can automate that fully just by putting the track straight into record and just messing around with the XY pad. So you can create some really cool, interesting, effects automation really easily by just messing around with the XY pad. So we leave that there. Bring Josh back. I see I've been going on for quite a while. Hopefully you've all been following along. Josh has been attacked and completely invaded by balloons. Oh, he's still alive.
Am I here?
He's still alive. Yeah, hey.
Hold on, Here we go.
I thought I was going to have to close off the stream with the balloons.
Send help, bro. Send help. Yeah, just everybody. Before we jump in to kind of wrap up the stream, I'm going to say right now, Rob, I said we're going to give away one copy of everything throughout the stream that you showcased. But if we can hit 600 likes by the end of this stream, I'm going to give away a second copy of Scalar 2. This is a total audible. No one gave me permission to do it, Rob, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Hell yeah.
If and only if, my friends, we can hit 600 likes. I thought we got to 500 just a little bit too easily, Rob. I feel like it needs to be a little bit of a challenge. I want to push the people here that are watching. But seriously, if we hit 600, I'm going to give a second copy of Scalar 2 away. Scalar 2 is phenomenal. I mean, it is really just a beast at this point. There is so much functionality. I'm happy you showed sort of a different approach to using it, and that is only kind of scratching the surface of what it is actually possible with the plugin itself. So I appreciate that. And also, Portal, it can be a little hungry on the CPU, but I mean, what it does, what it's doing to achieve, I mean, is you gotta give it some CPU. You gotta throw some CPU at it. So I mean, that's definitely what was happening there. But you did it, Rob. You got through, no issues, no smoke coming up behind you, no computers on fire. Absolutely phenomenal as usual. I want to actually take a second just to say a big thank you to, first of all, everybody who's watching right now, everybody who's been watching throughout the stream, everybody who's popped onto any of our streams, watched any of our videos, likes, comments, shares, is just an overall positive force, because we couldn't do 10 years without the community first and foremost. I also want to just give a big, warm thank you to Gareth, who is the person who started Plugin Boutique alongside Matt. Just thanks to both of them, because if they didn't put that hard work in the beginning of Plugin Boutique, you and I wouldn't be here celebrating 10 years. Who knows what would be happening? The community, the VST music production community, would be lesser for it. It wasn't an easy road in the beginning, and they stuck with it. And I think that's to be commended, because, you know, we're all here. We got 400 people watching this with us. We've had lots of live streams, lots of videos, and, you know, we owe it all to them, essentially. So thanks to Gareth, thanks to Matt. We couldn't have done it without you. Happy birthday, happy anniversary. It's as much yours as it is the company's and the community. So go ahead, Rob. It looks like you're just holding your fingers together, but
there is a drink here. There's definitely a drink here. Like,
go ahead and do it. I will have a drink in the honor of everybody I've just mentioned. Big ups to the whole Plugin Boutique crew, Nick in the chat, Simon Love, Simon Perry, Phil, everybody who's been involved, everyone who's a bright shining light in the office when I get to pop by. Everybody's wonderful in the company. Everybody, Tom, the support team, Liam, everybody. Come on, you know who you are. I'm drawing a blank. I'm getting emotional. The balloons are attacking. Everything is happening. Thanks to you, Rob Jones, the man, the myth, the wonder, producer tech, part of the family for sure. And let me check the likes before I start to tear up, Rob. I'm gonna see.
I can see you going. I can see that bottom lip wobbling.
We did it, Rob. We've done it.
Hey!
We've done it. 600 likes.
Nice.
My goodness. I don't want to yell on the mic, but my goodness, that is just a fantastic way to end the stream. I've got winners to announce. Who's ready for it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So, the winners of everything. We're going to do it right now. If you are called, you need to email support@pluginboutique.com, and you need to take a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube channel. That's the way we can prove it's you, and we don't have any issues. But luckily, Rob, we don't really experience that because our community is so solid and just a bunch of wonderful people. So the winners of Pigments, DJ TV. That's a great name. I don't know how you got the DJ TV name as a username on YouTube, but props to you and for securing that wonderful name, and Pigments from Arturia. Next up, Ozone 9 Advanced, Laser M. I actually saw Laser M earlier in the stream, Rob, commending you and complimenting you for using Russian vocals. So well done for that,
Awesome.
Laser M. Congratulations. Ozone 9 Advanced is on its way to you. Next up, we got the Sound Toys Little Altar Boy, which is Robert Malniks. Malnieks, Ugrit, Little Altar Boy. Thanks for Sound Toys for supplying that. Next up, keep it moving. Auto Tune Access from Antares. My goodness. I was actually thinking about my Auto Tune shirt and how it's my favorite shirt, Rob. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I digress. The winner of that is Meltem D. MELTEMD. You win Autotune Access. And RC20 is Vitor Hugo RH. FITORHUGORH. You are the winner of RC20. Next up, Sonic's Inflator. Rasan Rosier. RASAN ROZIER. Sonic's Inflator. Cable Guy Shaper Box 2 is Kamikaze. I'm not sure how to pronounce this one, so I'm just going to spell it. KAMIKAZISHOTS. You are the winner of Cable Guy Shaper Box. And just to reiterate, we are going to put the list of winners and what they've won in the comments of the video. So make sure to go ahead and check there just to be doubly sure it was you that won. And the first version of Scalar 2 is Dylan Osthusian. That's DAYLEN OOSTHUIZEN. You are the winner of Scalar 2 #1. And then we have Output Portal is Milo FAEQ. So that's MYLO FEAQ. You win Output Portal. And because I'm a man of my word, Rob, and we got past 600 likes, I think is a milestone on our streams. But let's crush it towards the end of this year when we do our next Christmas stream, Rob. I'm looking for 1,200 likes. What do you think? Can it happen?
We can do it. Definitely.
We can do it. So definitely make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You subscribe to the newsletter. You open those newsletters so you get to see when we're offering RC20 for $20 because, my goodness, you need to do it. You need to get on the train. So the other winner is XUSH. Shush? How would you pronounce that?
Say again.
XUSH.
Yeah, Zush. Maybe.
Shush or shush?
Zush or Zush. Zush. Shush.
XUSH. Congratulations. You win the bonus copy of Scalar 2. Everybody who's won, congratulations. Make sure you email support@plguinboutique.com. Screenshot of you logged into your YouTube channel and let them know what you won, and they will get you sorted ASAP. Rob, as usual, man, thank you very much for stopping by.
Welcome.
You absolutely smashed those demos today. I'm glad your computer handled it because...
Me too.
Yeah. But it's always a pleasure talking with you. It's always a pleasure doing these with you. Thanks to everybody who stopped by. And I think that's about it, man. We can wrap up unless you got something else. Maybe you got something going on. Any remix contests happening at Producer Tech these days?
We've just actually, there's one thing I could announce. We just finished a remix comp, which was awesome. But we're just about to launch Producer Tech intensive events coming up very soon. Yeah, they're for complete beginners, so I don't know how much of your community would be relevant. You know, a lot of the plugin boutique community, I get the feeling, is generally people who already know a thing or two, perhaps. But you can certainly spread the word, or if it is applicable to you, this is for complete beginners, people who just want to, get the best start possible, essentially. Then, we're going to be doing these week-long events. They're going to be happening fairly regularly. I'm not sure how many times a year, but you come in, you get a course package, and you also get live sessions every day. So it's kind of an intensive course going through all the main stages, so that after a week, you should be able to produce your own track, whatever level you come in at. That's our aim with it. So
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, should be cool. I think the first one's going to be very end of March, going into April. So keep an eye out. Nice.
Rob, people are putting me on blast right now. People are absolutely putting me on blast right now. I skipped over a winner on my list over here, and that is my mistake.
Dude.
We almost had a flawless performance here, but the balloons have won again. I missed the track spacer winner, and that is. This is another one I cannot pronounce, so I'm just going to spell it KERSERZTHE, scientist.
Wowzers.
You are the winner of Track Spacer. I apologize. That's who's won it. I'm sorry. Okay, people are tagging me now. I've said it. I've told everybody who won what they've won. Again, full list of winners in the video description, and it will be a pinned comment. But with that, I also want to just thank Pirate Studios for hooking us up with a nice studio space once again. If you're looking for studio spaces to check out, definitely check out pirate.com. Someone else who's got a really great URL. I mean, pirate.com. How much that is SEO gold, Rob. Fantastic. Every time I've been in a Pirate Studio, I've had a good time. And they have locations. They've got like 12 locations in London, places in Germany, places in definitely like more than a few places in the US. So check out pirate.com if you're looking for a really great, nicely priced, high quality professional recording space. They've got it for full-on band rooms. They've got DJ rooms if you want to get in and use their equipment to learn how to mix, or if you want to get into a recording room like the one I'm in now. There's a vocal booth over there. All the equipment is here and ready to go. Essentially, you bring your laptop and plug in and do what you want. But thanks to Pirate for hooking it up again. And that's it, man. I think with that, we should wrap it up. And I'm going to go drink some champagne and just celebrate 10 years of Plugin Boutique. Celebrate this stream. Drink to you, Rob, for killing it and smashing it once again. And again, it's so funny. It looks like you're not holding anything to do that.
I say you got. Oh wait, yeah, of course. Sorry, you on that. You don't have anything at all. Yeah, I can see that now. Sorry, it's on the green screen. It's also a bit like hard to see, but there is a genuine sherry here. I'm not going to lie, it's a sherry. I will raise it to you, good sir, and everyone at Plugin Boutique.
Yes, absolutely, Rob. Thanks again. So we can go ahead and wrap up. Thanks everybody else, and we will see you in the next video / live stream / whatever we do next. See you there. See you then.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.